You spent 60 odd million on the guy. There's no earning place. You need to justify. It's a bit like us with Kai Havertz. Regardless,
Yep.
Havertz has to play because man have to justify why this bread has been spent and what actually is the key to it. Because I'm pretty sure your fans were how we were. Like, why the hell are you behind these individuals? How do they make us better and ultimately closer to where we want to go? It's down to both managers to actually simply show this, really.
But man said that. Like, Kai Havertz could
We got
be.
twanged, fam.
He could be the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of Arteta's job. If he doesn't win anything this season, the Kai Havertz hill is the one that he would have died on. Because
the thing is, I want Arteta to die on it. I sound like a hypocrite because I don't want him to, because obviously I think he should be on the bench, but you're gonna have to. Like, obviously, it's easy for me as a fan to sit here and say by X, Y, this, but you could see what Raya could bring in theory against Ramsdale. You could see what Timber brings. You could see what Declan Rice brings. Kai Havertz, no one was screaming 65 million. I was of the belief, you know what, Arteta, I don't really believe in it, but you've earned my credit. You know football more than me. I really don't believe in Kai Havertz, but let's see what's going on. How does he get us closer to City? And looking at Havertz, you know we're doing this young sort of system thing. I was looking at Havertz like I look at Jesus, Zinchenko, and Martin Odegaard, in that you've got a wealth of experience. And the bar's on the floor for Havertz. I think in the last 3 games he's been okay, but again, the bar's on the floor. We're praising man for making fouls and stuff like that. He's going to have to make it work because 65 million could have been spent on someone that's a younger model of Thomas Partey, someone who's out for the rest of 2023 now. So we're kind of down to our bare bones in midfield. And me and you have spoken on years on your channel, and you've always asked me what position would I want. I've sat here and I've always said midfield needs to be revamped. Even if you look at our team now, whatever they say about our defensive options, there's decent options there. Up front, there's decent options. Midfield, there's more questions than answers. So he's going to have to down that hill. Whether he becomes a super sub or he looks like Michael Ballack or Schweinsteiger, Arteta going to have to make it work because there's no get-out clause. It's not like you signed the man for 10 million. It has to work. He's on big money and all of these things. He can play in a bunch of roles, but respectfully to Havertz, what are you? And when we decide for what you are, whether you're a midfielder or a false nine or whatever, are you the best in this Arsenal squad at that? Are you top 5? Well, top 5 is exaggeration. Are you top 3? Probably not. So Arteta's got to have to justify that, man. Because if you spent that 65 million better with Partey's injury, I wouldn't really give a crap. That's the one luxury with bringing in Declan Rice, and that we've got a physical man in midfield. So I won't say we won't miss Partey because we do, but it could be a lot worse if Declan Rice at this club wasn't a thing. Like Chelsea bumped both our clubs. You know, I would have preferred Kovacic. Not that he's making any noise at City, but
yeah, but he would have done something at Arsenal, bro. He would have added experience and a couple things. Yeah, firstly, how many years is left on Partey's contract, and secondly, this is so there's still a couple years, and this is the worst thing about this whole situation. The worst thing about this whole situation is right now is Declan Rice, in theory, was the replacement for Granit Xhaka, yeah. So what was Kai Havertz, bro? Because you brought in a player that you didn't need, and now you spent 60 odd million or whatever on a player that could have gone towards the striker that you need, that you're now no longer going to sign because Thomas Partey is injured. So now you need to find a replacement for him, which means you're not going to get the striker, which means Eddie stays up front, which means you're not winning the league, bro.
This is the thing. Like, I would have preferred a midfielder anyways. Like, just assume Partey was fit. I said it in the summer. We needed to revamp midfield. I didn't think Declan Rice in isolation, you know, is enough, really. I don't think we have the bodies there. Like you kind of touched on, you know, there's a lot of talk around, you know, Declan Rice. Obviously, his bread and butter as a 6, becoming an 8. So you're not really going to see that number 8 from Declan Rice beyond the point. So that's why I don't get the Havertz sign. And if it works, it works. But I keep hearing, you know, he's a right-sided centre mid, he's a false 9, he's this, that, the other. Cool, let's just make it work. Because as much as I love what Arteta is doing and I still back him, it's captain save the whole set. You know, Jesus, Zinchenko, Odegaard, these things can work, but you can't save everyone. And I do feel a lot of the luxuries I give Kai Havertz personally, if he was an 18-year-old coming from the academy or sourced from any other country, I could kind of cut you these excuses, but you're Premier League proven and I need you to be a leader. And I know I can't read into YouTube videos, but when you watch Arsenal's training videos compared to Kai Havertz on the pitch, he seems a lot more confident to try things. I think with him, regardless if I think you're good enough or not, I just want to see you try things. If you make a mistake, make a mistake. But as you know, in football, if you're too scared to try anything, you're just going to look needy, really. I did think the Sevilla game to a point is a step in the right direction, purely because, again, the bar's on the floor. I'm seeing him shoot from outside the area. And it's a weird one because I do think at times with our fan base, he's unnecessarily scapegoated. But as you said, he's a man that I hope in years to come, he shows why he was signed. But no one, apart from the man whose decision it is to sign him, man, like, it's not making sense with Kai Havertz. It really
is. That's the thing. You're talking about what he does in training and that. And it's, bro, some players are just confidence players, bro. We've all seen it. Do you know what I mean? Certain man in training, they want to do the audacious things, you know what I mean? And then when they're under the lights, bro, The man ain't got that, innit? And the thing is, if you don't have that temperament, then this kind of shows you why it never worked at Chelsea. And that's the reason. When he was a big fish in a small pond in Germany, like, that's his level. Some players, that's just who they are, innit?
Their level, innit? Yeah.
That's just who they are. When the team's looking to you to be the man, there's no pressure on you. You're allowed to make mistakes and people overlook it, bro. Sometimes players are meant to be there. They're not meant to kick on to the next level. Not every player, yeah, is built to be a star, bro. Sometimes they just need to be that guy in the little place that they are, bro.
That's the thing, because with Kai at this moment in time, the bar's on the floor. I'm really just praising you for your willingness to put in a shift. As we both know, once you say that around the player, they're not really certified in that regard. So you're bang on the money, man. Bang on the money. But it's gonna have to work, really. And where I'm at with Kai is like, you got to find confidence in yourself. Fair enough, even if it did work out a lot better. You're an ex-Chelsea, man. You was already walking a tightrope. I think the manager's shown his faith to sign you for 60-odd million. The players are giving you charity penalties, so I think they're believing in you. But you need to make peace with the fact that people are or aren't going to like you. You're at Arsenal now. Nobody in this life is coming to save you. You're going to be judged harshly, probably harsher than other players. Just stand up to be counted, man. It's as simple as that. Just stand up to be counted, really. And I don't see that right now from Kai.
That's what I mean. So it's like January comes, you probably need to replace Thomas Partey. I don't know what going for him, because it was like something's definitely happening that we're not being told about. That's one thing for sure.
Oh, his real age is coming out, man. He's like 70, man. Like,
yeah, but the crazy thing about that is, yeah, bro, if you deep it though, he was openly like pretty much transfer listed in the summer, like, and then he just wasn't. Like, we don't know if anyone put in any bids for him, or they didn't, or he was meant to go.
He said there was no actual offer.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I feel like Arsenal knew that his body was deteriorating or something like that.
They tried to
get rid of him.
Exactly.
No one wanted him. And then it's like, cool, man, I'm going to try the right back thing. And now he's broken down again. And it's like, I just don't understand, bro. Like, if you know that he's finished, why do you replace him?
This is the thing, because when you look at him, like, it's not like, obviously, I don't know what's going on in training, but it's never like he gets injured in games per se. It's always these training setbacks, and that's come out. He had the leg brace and things like that. He wasn't injured at Atletico Madrid. Maybe it's something Partey isn't doing. Maybe it's something to do with our rehab. I won't be as naive to say I thought we turned the corner, but last year you was fit for 40 games and you played 33 times in the league. For Partey at this football club, that's unheard of. So I don't know what's going on, really. I do think the club would have, in an ideal world, they would have moved him on in the summer, but I think it was a thing where we're trying to sort out the Tavares, the Tinis, etc. If a certain offer came in, I don't think he'll be at the club next season, even though I'm not necessarily for him leaving, but I think we need to find his replacement before he necessarily needs replacing. With the outlay we've been doing, I just think in the summer, Ramsdale brings in a decent fee, potentially Smith Rowe goes, and with Partey, provided there's an offer, it's just a chance of getting them wages off the wage bill, because not only have we signed people, Bearman have been given new deals, and you look at Benjamin White, there's talk around a new deal for him. You know, it came out with Granit Xhaka initially last season that he was going to sign a new deal. Then it came out there was never an offer on the table, and Arsenal have shown that they're forward thinking. So they have to have had a conversation and made a decision about Partey already in 2025. Of course, form can sway that, but the best trait you could have is being available. And unfortunately with Partey, you're never 100% fit that the man's going to be fit. And especially because on the 23rd of December, I know we got a lot of football. We've got Liverpool at Anfield. You're someone that I would want available to some degree. So it's probably time to keep it moving. But it's a shame, man, because when he's fit and he's one of our best players. But as I just said, if you're not available, it doesn't really matter how good you are, essentially, man.
But it's mad, because it's like, given all of this information already being known, did they think that Havertz was his replacement?
This is what I'm talking about.
I don't know, because even logic would tell you that that's not even a like for like. So, like, what did they think they were doing?
I genuinely thought, obviously, Lavia hasn't kicked a ball at Chelsea, but we was linked with Lavia them times when we were signing Declan Rice. I thought, you know what, we might bring in a Declan Rice. You're ready to impact. Lavia can be little Partey, really. You can rotate. Obviously, when he's not fit, you've shown there's an option. Had we have done that, both of them signings or someone of that ilk to go with Rice, then it's not that I wouldn't care about Havertz. You'd get a lot more leeway. You know, Arteta, you're free to do your experiment with Havertz as much as you want. But we haven't done that. And ultimately, in general, as I said earlier, like we've spoken on your channel many a times, and I've always said midfield needs to be addressed. And I must admit, despite the fact that I like what we're bringing in, the fact that Mikel Arteta and Edu were both central midfielders at Premier League level, and that's the one area I think there's more questions than answers. It does kind of pee me off a bit, if I'm completely honest, man. And Chelsea probably couldn't believe their luck that they got 65 million. What they bought him for 70, We bought him for 65. No one's going to be silly enough to give us our money back on Havertz. So this is why I said, you got to have to make it work, because I've gone past the point. I'm not looking at Havertz no more. Like, I hope you need to do certain things, but I'm not looking at you. You didn't buy yourself. We all know what we've seen of you in the Chelsea shirt. Arteta's got to justify that. You spent the bread. The same way I praise you for all the other signings and all the other good things you're doing, I have to look at it, because no one else would have spent 65 million on Havertz. I hope it works, but I can only go off what I see. There's somewhat encouraging signs in the last 3 games, but again, encouraging signs for Havertz in terms of other players. If other players were doing that, it's not that. The bar is on the floor, bro. It's on the floor. I'm praising the man for working hard. That's very dangerous territory, No,
facts. Dangerous. But that's why your manager has to make it work. But that's also why I'm baffed that my manager has brought in all these players, and it's like, usually managers double down on their signings, but my manager's literally not playing most of the man he's bought. Like, and that's what's pissing me off. I'd rather that he was rinsing his signings, because he believed in them. Because then I'll be like, you know what, he's bought these players, he has to make it work. But the fact that this brother's brought these man in and he's not even using them, and he's given us all these bullshit excuses,
Does he trust them?
I'm just, if you don't trust them, why did you bring them in? Because that's you admitting that you don't know what you're doing.
And that's you admitting it. As you know, in human nature, a lot of people, when you're scared or things are going wrong, you revert. It's kind of non-productive, but you revert back to habit. That's why you see a lot of managers, they're doing the same things over and over again, and that's where you have to ask him, what's going on with your talent ID? That's why I said earlier, the one thing I would say with Ten Hag, your talent ID looks very scary. Like, fair enough, Malacia is injured, but your players are not really working. Really, you're making someone, because your midfield is disillusioned. Casemiro's a great player, but he's not a miracle worker, and he's not surrounded by the talent of Real Madrid. He can't do everything. He is looking lost. Mount is looking lost. At sometimes, I think Eriksen's been good. He's looking lost. And when you combine that with some of the tactically bewildering decisions he's made, you're in this mess yourself. There's a lot of things that Ten Hag's inherited, but the variables that you can control, you're not controlling them. I think many United fans would allow him if he was playing decent football, and you could see that some players making mistakes or they're not doing what he needs to do. You could say, you know what, the blueprint's there. But if Ten Hag leaves tomorrow, I don't know what Ten Hag ball is. He was at Ajax. He's bold like Pep. I did expect a lot better from Ten Hag, and I did think at a time you lot were moving forward, but it's just a lot of it's naive. A lot of it's too counterproductive. I think too many of your players, and that's more on the players, they've got too many mistakes in them as well. Like, even when you lost to City, like, you deserve to lose 3-0, but there were some players that were half trying, and you're just shooting yourselves in the foot, man, really. So it's just all a mess. Ten Hag has to hold it, really. And if he doesn't, his days are looking numbered, really.
No, 100%, because people will say, like, I've seen loads of excuses, man. Obviously, Ralph said we need open heart surgery and all these other things. Yeah, cool. Maybe so, but this man has brought in enough players that we should be seeing more than what we're getting. Like, this is the same midfield, that Pogba was struggling in,
Damn, the midfield don't even make sense.
A man was saying it was him, bro. Pogba was playing with Bruno and McTominay. He shouldn't be playing with them scrubs. And then you swap Casemiro for Pogba, and then you're saying Cass's legs are gone, bro. Listen, Pogba's legs hadn't gone, and he struggled to play with them bums. Do you know what I mean? And then you're going to put Casemiro in, who is not that kind of player anyway. Mobility-wise, he's never been the most mobile player, bro. Exactly. So, like, what would you want from him, bro? It's just like
highlighting players' limitations even more. Like, every player's got limitations. The best managers hide that and enhance what they're good at. And I keep mentioning midfield because it's the midfield. The midfield is everything. Fair enough, the defense can go to sleep and they need to improve. And your efficiency in the final third and defensive third makes the difference. But I don't know what United's midfield is. And when you look at the profile, Casemiro, good player. Amrabat, decent player, hasn't hit the ground running. Mount, I like him, but very wasteful. Bruno, very wasteful. I don't think you've ever played them together, but them two together is suicidal, essentially. Eriksen.
We were at the beginning, and then 90 minutes. Luckily,
so
Mount got injured.
It's not going to make sense. Like, that's what I mean with Ten Hag. Like, it's not making sense. Like, you're not putting pieces to a puzzle appropriately. It's not making sense. And if I was a United fan, that would be the thing that pees me off the most. That, and I believe naivety is going into games, man. Like, I'd be a lot more peed off with Ten Hag than the players. Fair enough. Some of these players have been under several managers and they've been stinking up the place. They're bad eggs and things. But a lot of United fans want to support Ten Hag, innit? And he's not supporting himself right now. And he's making it difficult now. Obviously, you've been at Ajax. I can't say you haven't been at a big club, but he doesn't appear to know how to maneuver at Man United, even when it comes down to the press conferences. Like, you look like someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, bro. Like, and he doesn't know how to deal with. You don't know how to deal with proper players, bro. And he knows how to deal with youths, fam. Like, I see
like
one
Ronaldo
thing.
bad him up, innit?
Yeah, I see something from Berbatov today talking about Varane, saying how, because basically Johnny Evans is playing and Berbatov was given that usual club, just that club plant in it bullshit about, the manager treats everyone the same, he doesn't care.
Right, you're onto Berbatov as well. I didn't think Berbatov would be a PR man.
Bruv, listen, all them men are taking money from the club. He was like, Ten Hag, he doesn't care how old you are, this, that, and the other. Like, you have to do it in training and that. It's like, bro, this is Raphael Varane, bro. Stop your shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just
stop your shit, bro. You can't tell me that Johnny Evans, is outperforming Varane in training. And even if he is, who cares, bruv? Do you know what I mean? It's training. Do you know what I mean? Man don't care about training, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no one cares about training. Most footballers go training because they have to, blood. You know what I mean? Not because they want to go training, bro. Like, why are them man going on like Sir Alex Ferguson was picking the teams off who trained best, bro? When we know, all ballers like Tevez and that.
For being crap trainers.
Bro, bare man are known for, bro, like being a crap trainer, bro. Like, bro, like it's normal, blood. Like every time you see these footballers do these little things, soccer AMR, worst trainer, there's always one brother that's not on training, blood. And he starts every week.
Eden Hazard.
Yeah, bro. That's what I mean. Tevez, bro. Like, bruv, Tevez never used to do nothing. Man used to fake injuries. On the pitch
when it comes to match day, Tevez.
But that's what they said. They said that he didn't like running during the week and he would just empty the tank on match day, bruv. He was like, during the week, man's not training, bro. More times man's faking an injury and that man's in the physio room. Man ain't trying to, bruv. He's like, this is
to be fair, though, I do think, not really with Varane, because he's kind of that generation. I do think footballers are different now. Like, I don't like to use these terms, but it's like they were men's men. Like, footballers are soft these days.
But
that's
even
one
Varane,
luxury I'll give them, man.
If you look at Varane,
irrelevant to Varane.
No, but even if you look at Varane, for instance, because of his career and because of his fitness record and that, it would make more sense for him to preserve himself in training anyway.
True.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Because, and he's coming back from injury as well.
Who wants to get injured in training, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to get injured in training? Like, it doesn't make no sense. Like, it's just like, if I'm gonna preserve my body, he's retired from international football. I'm not even saying it's a training thing. I reckon Varane batted him up, but it's one of them ones where the fact that Berbatov could even insinuate that it's a training ground thing, it's like, this is Raphael Varane. Shut up, bro. Like, respectfully. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. This is 5 Champions Leagues, World Cup winner, and you're telling me that Johnny Evans is out training. Do you really think he wants to be
part of rubbiness, like staying in his career?
You're telling me that you can find a justification for Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans to be starting ahead of this brother in a Manchester derby? Are you smoking rice?
He's turned his career around. I didn't think he'd be able to be in this position.
Shout him out, shit, bruv. That man's still giving away penalties. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. That don't even make no sense, bro. And the thing is, like, I know, for instance, with Patrick Vieira, when he went to Crystal Palace, one of the first things he said to the players was, listen, you man know your body's better than anyone else.
Yeah, you've said this before as well.
If any you man have got any things that maybe certain days, you know what I'm saying, maybe you need to sit out or you need to be in the physio room, bruv, tell me. You know, like that. Everyone don't train the same, bro. Do you know what I mean? Just like you don't manage people.
More intense as the week goes on and vice versa, yeah.
You don't train every player the same. You don't speak to every player the same. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything's different. Everything's tailored, bro. If you want to do this one size fits all, go and manage youths in an academy, blood.
But you're in the wrong day and age for that. You can't do that. You can't do the iron fist thing.
It's crazy. Go and manage youths in an academy like we're some conveyor belt of these youths, blood, playing for their life, blood. No one want to answer you back, bro. You got a 5-time Champions League winner and you think that you could tell him to do what everyone else is doing. That's crazy. That don't even make no sense.
Shit.
That don't even make no sense.
No lies. I haven't heard you say a lie, fam.
Like, what are you talking about? Like he's playing for his life, like Scott McTominay and them man there. Nah, bro. Them man have... Bruv, listen, McTominay needs to cover every blade of grass because you need to prove to me why you're here, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's crazy to even suggest that you could drop Varane for training is crazy. That don't make no sense, bro.
Especially because, you could drop once or twice. I understand when managers drop key players, it sends a statement out. But United are not in a position where you could do that. And like you said, when you see what's going on the field, Varane is probably looking at you funny. All it takes for Ten Hag, if Varane, Sancho, even if they have done what you've done and you've alienated them, all it does is they talk to their brethren. The next thing, 7 people don't like you. The dressing room's gone. And we all know in any dressing room, there's the decision makers and there's the sidemen, the guys that follow the intake. It's them man that are going to make or break Ten Hag's future, because it's them players that they're not necessarily for you or against you. Once they're in, you're gone, Ten Hag. And any little tactics you're trying to implement, if they're being done already, fair enough. But if they're not being done, they're defo sure as hell ain't going to be done when them guys are done, man. So,
but bro, you know what the maddest thing is, yeah? It's like, and this is how I know, yeah. This is how I know Jose's a bad man, and I know Ten Hag's a donut. Because it's like, bro, when Jose was under pressure, he played all the ballers he didn't like. Pogba played,
man have to be humble.
Martial played, because he said, you know what, blood, these man will save my job. Like, as much as I don't like these man, yeah, these man will save my job, you know, and he done it and they did it, bro. Whereas Ten Hag, what, you're backing Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay to save your job.
This is it. But that might tell you that internally.
And Garnacho, are you sure?
But that might tell him that internally Ten Hag knows I'm not getting sacked. Then it might not be as peak because you only, like you said, there was pressure on Jose, and I agree with you. There's pressure on him. He needs to say, you know what, Jose's evil is that I'm gonna get you man back, but right now I need to use you lot. That might be saying, he's on the devil thing. But with Ten Hag, it must be told then